think they would find that very insulting.
Whoa. Over on Bill Maher, Don Lemon appeared. And Don Lemon, yeah, he's been out of circulation for a while, but not fully out of circulation. He's still saying things. So he appeared on Bill Maher's Club Random. It's a fun show, by the way. Again, I'm very friendly with Bill, and his show is kind of a kick. And Don Lemon stopped by to talk about how rational black people cannot vote for Donald Trump or be pro-MAGA.
It's the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that, I just said, I think there can be sincere Republicans.
But you can't be a sincere black Republican?
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting.
Oh, so that's just the hard truth. I noticed that there are a lot of black people who voted for President Trump. In fact, President Trump won more black men than any Republican presidential candidate of my lifetime. So there's that. That is a very amazing statement from Don Lemon. This sort of racial essentialism is the reason people are tired of this. They're just exhausted with it. The racial essentialism is boring and it's annoying and it's stupid. And condemning people for being of the wrong race but for a different thing is a very, very dumb thing to do. But Don Lemon didn't stop there. Then he points out that CNN actually benefited from the pandemic. This part he's actually right about. This is pretty astonishing.
Your show's on YouTube.
It's a different mechanism. It's the same thing, though. It's a smaller screen.
Do more people watch you on YouTube than watched you on CNN?
I think now, I think they do. Well,
you don't know the answer to that question?
No, I do know the answer to that question. I think, in my early days on CNN, I would say more people watched me on CNN. And then also when I was there, it was a different time. I think more people watched me on CNN. No, I don't know. I think more people watch me now. But I think the highest point of CNN was during COVID, and we had COVID and George Floyd at the same time, and Donald Trump. And that was the height. That was the highest ratings, the most profitable of CNN. And so it was amazing to be there. People watched every night,
right,
and they sort of relied on us.
Well, so I just want to point out that according to Don Lemon, the reason that black people become MAGA, people tell on themselves. The reason, according to Don Lemon, that black people become MAGA is because they want to get booked on TV, right? That it's all self-serving, that the goal of the black MAGA person is to get booked on TV and to become famous, which is really insulting. Then he let slip that the highest time for ratings in CNN history was during COVID, because they had COVID and George Floyd at the same time and President Trump. Now, I have a question. If the idea is that incentive structures such as fame and money drive people to do things, what would that say about the legacy media and how they covered those issues? COVID and George Floyd and President Trump. Could it be the legacy media covered President Trump the way they covered him because they thought that it was ratings gold? Could it be that they decided to cover COVID in the most irrational, insane way that it was possible to do for full-on years because they thought it was good for ratings? That maybe it had something to do with the fact that the numbers kept going up whenever they suggested that millions of people were going to die if you didn't mask up your children? Maybe that was a driving force. It's amazing how they can't, they're looking for the motes in other people's eye, and the beam is like through their head. It's not just in their eyes, it's like all the way through their head. The legacy media have incentive structures to create radicalization, to promote the most extreme version of the news in pursuit of ratings. And that's true. That's true for, everybody in the space. The question is, do you have enough? Do you have enough rationality to try to withdraw from that? Do you withdraw from the most extreme, insane positions because you actually have some sort of moral backbone? And the legacy media never did. The legacy media never did. I mean, he mentions George Floyd right there. One of the reasons the George Floyd tape was covered the way the George Floyd tape was covered is because it helped burn down the country, and they got to cover the burning. They're half setting the arson. As we're going to explore on the case for Derek Chauvin, like the media did you a disservice. They did a disservice. They covered the initial George Floyd tape, and then they just ignored all of the subsequent facts that came out. The autopsy, the rest of the body camera footage, all of it. Just ignored it because they wanted a narrative. Because if they had covered all the rest of that stuff, well, then the ratings might have gone down because there might have been more nuance to the case than they wanted to say. And that from Don Lemon is pretty telling. It's pretty astonishing. What does this mean? It means the Democrats are addicted. They are absolutely addicted to the crazy, and they can't let go of the crazy, and it's a major, major problem for them. Did you know that your home could be stolen right from under you without you even realizing it? The FBI calls this house stealing. It's a growing scam targeting homeowners across America. Here's how it works. Scammers only need to forge your signature on one document, add a fake notary stamp, pay a small filing fee, submit it to your local recorder's office. And just like that, your home title gets transferred out of your name. Well, once they have control, they can then take out loans against your equity. They could even sell your property behind your back. And the worst part is you might not know about anything until the collection notices or foreclosure warnings start randomly showing up in your mailbox. So when was the last time you checked your home title? If the answer is like most people, the answer is never. That's what scammers count on. That's why so many people, including senior video editor Adam, trust Home Title Lock. Their $1 million triple lock protection helps keep your home and equity safe. And here's what you get. Immediate 24/7 monitoring of your property. Urgent alerts if there are any changes. If fraud should happen, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix the fraud and restore your title at no additional cost. Here's the best part. I've teamed up with Home Title Lock to give you a free title history report so you can find out if you're already a victim and access to your personal title expert, a $250 value just for signing up. Head on over to HometitleLock.com, use promo code Shapiro250 or click on the link in the description below. And of course, make sure to check out that $1 million triple lock protection when you get there. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Shapiro250. Get the protection and peace of mind you deserve. So last week, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, made the correct political decision not to engage in a government shutdown. Why? Well, as I said last week, it was a giant unforced error. I wish he had. Sort of a political matter, I wish that Chuck Schumer had engaged in a continuing resolution shutdown. Why? Because then he would have had to own it. Whatever happened next would be on him. First of all, President Trump would have had the ability to designate which employees in the federal government were mandatory employees. Right? Because the spending in the federal government, there's some spending in the federal government that's considered essential spending that goes forward even during government shutdown, and stuff that's considered non-essential. The non-essential shutdown, essential goes forward. That's true for employees as well. Trump would have had more power if the government shutdown had happened along those lines. But number two, anything negative that happened economically over the following few weeks was going to be in Chuck Schumer's lap. So Chuck Schumer, flirting with the left, which wanted him to resist, thought very seriously about shutting down the government. And then at the last minute, he pulled back. And he pulled back because he didn't want to be a complete nut job who destroyed his party. And the Democrats are fighting mad at him, enraged at him. Here are MSNBC hosts over the weekend bashing Chuck Schumer over it.
The Democratic Tea Party was born the same day that Chuck Schumer took to that podium to read that very well-crafted statement that told us he folded like a paper napkin.
Well, and that's why you have members of the Democratic caucus privately encouraging Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to primary Schumer.
Anyone can primary him.
Okay, so there's a lot of talk in the Democratic Party about AOC primarying him. And all I can say is good luck and Godspeed. Seriously, please keep steering in the direction of AOC if you wish to keep losing. And this has been the way that the Democratic Party continues to approach the issue. They're not taking the advice of James Carville, which is sit back and wait for your opponent to make a mistake. They're not doing it. Instead, they're jumping both feet on every rake in sight. Congresswoman Debbie Dingell from Michigan, she says, listen, we need to fight back. I can't believe we did the CR. We should have fought back.
My town halls look like a Republican town hall. I'm not taking it personally. People are scared. They want to see us do something.
You mean people are shouting, people are angry, people are upset?
They want to see Democrats fighting back, and they're really scared about what's going to happen to them.
Okay, so then you have Senator Adam Schiff, who was the greatest promulgator of the Russia lie. And he's saying that passing the CR was a terrible policy. Please, guys, keep following Adam Schiff. It's doing you wonders.
We in the Congress gave up our authority, gave up our power to allow him to continue to do this because we feared something worse if we refused. Now, I made it clear, I think that was the wrong judgment. I strongly oppose this CR, but nevertheless, it passed.
He strongly opposes the CR. It was the wrong judgment. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse doing the same thing. He says, listen, we need to stop fighting internally. We need to unify against Trump. The problem is you can't. You can't because half of you are crazy.
So they were both extremely, extremely dangerous options. And my view is that as Democrats, we need to stop the intramural quarreling about who voted what way and get back to work saving our democracy.
Hey, well, let's see you get it back to it. Here's the thing. The other problem for the Democrats is that because the leadership is up for grabs, there's a battle among the nuts for the leadership. If AOC's at 10%, Jasmine Crockett is looking at this and she's going, hey, we've talked about Jasmine Crockett, the very voluble congresswoman from Texas who's trying to become the new AOC and trying to steal some of her thunder. Here she was trying to go after AOC.
You're close with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Some of your fellow House Democrats say, and not just progressives, by the way, we've heard that moderates have said this too, that they're ready to support her to challenge Chuck Schumer in a Democratic primary. Would you get behind that?
That's 4 years from now. If you were asking me at least in 2 years, then I would have an absolute answer. But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment. We don't even know what elections will look like in 4 years, if we will have elections. And so I definitely think that younger, fresher leadership may be something that many of us, not just depending on what part of the spectrum you're on, but many Americans may be looking for, especially in the state of New York.
You notice how she kind of slides in right there that there might not be elections in 4 years later? There are going to be elections in 4 years. The real reason that she's not endorsing AOC at this point is because she's afraid that she's going to get banged on by the moderate wing of her party. And she is currently riding in that same SSRS poll, which shows AOC at 10%, at 4% out of nowhere, the same as Barack Obama. So why precisely would she hand over leadership of the party to a person while she herself might make that climb? The Democrats are in such trouble. Well, that's all for now, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to check out all of the other great content on my channel. I'll see you here next time.